Hi friends, I'm Flutter. I don't just study games to make games, though I think that's super important. I get my influences from a lot of different art forms. My background is in a variety of art, so naturally, my inspiration comes from a lot of different places. The reason I want to talk about that is because just going to AI to get ideas or is not, I think, a good idea. And I think in this current situation that we're in culture, people might want to be moving fast and they just take something that sounds good that AI gave them and then they run with it. Just like creating slow art, I think the slow consumption of art is also a good idea. And so today I just wanted to share what influences me in my artistic process. Recently, I also had a conversation with someone who enjoys my content. You know who you are. Thank you. And this person asked me some really good questions. One of them I really liked, and it was in regards to how do I make sure that the medium, VR, the headset, doesn't affect how I tell a story? How am I making sure that I'm not controlled by the medium? I thought that was an excellent question, so I've still been thinking about it. And I think what it comes down to is making sure that you're influenced by your human experience and things that aren't just digital. Also, I have a background in film production, and I think that makes me look at just even this real life three-dimensional space in such a way as a filmmaker would. They might go like this or like this. And why that is that they're framing the real space to see how they can imagine they would translate it onto a film screen. And in that same way, I believe that I walk through the real life space thinking about how I could translate that into the digital 3D space. And that takes a lot of imagination, which I really like. It's also really important to be in VR in order to decide how you're going to execute and make the world happen. But then I do think that observing what happens to you in your everyday physical realm and everyday life is a good complement. I think that VR and real life can complement each other. I learn a lot about myself from VR and vice versa. With this video, I want to stress that I am getting my influences not just from an AI response and not just from prompting AI. Definitely not. I mostly like using it for coding. I like to get my influences from films and visual art and music and books. I think slow consumption of art is great because it gives you that time to think about things and see how someone expressed an idea, whether you agree with it or not. I just think what it does is it allows yourself to get exposed to a lot of different points of view and ideas and ways of executing something and ways of communicating. And I learn from that. Now, I don't want to get into every single filmmaker and musician and painter and etc. that I like today. I just wanted to focus on books because I've talked about before how I like scattering up books in my house and then picking them up because it's better than picking up a cell phone in my opinion, and it makes you go slower. So I tend to have a lot of books around my house. So I thought we would just take a look at what's just been in my immediate vicinity, what I've been picking up the most, even though there's even some where down here. There's quite a few just in that shelf back there, but I have quite a lot all over. So I stacked up a few behind me. This is my main stack right now. Full stack reading. Okay, so the one that I've really been enjoying is Reality Plus, I believe, Virtual World and the Problems of Philosophy. So this really goes into the philosophy of virtual worlds. And I just got through the simulation chapter about are we in a simulation? And I'm about to start the what is reality. So it's by David Chalmers or Calmers. I really apologize. I'm probably going to mess up people's names. And then when it comes to literature, I'm just going to drop the books next to me. When it comes to literature, these two just came onto my radar for different reasons. This one, Five Children and It by Edith Nesbit, has some good morality tales, kind of like fables. That's why I picked it up, because I've been wanting to make my short VR story experiences really based on fables or that sort of structure. So I was kind of wanting to see how this author did that. And then also I picked up 60 Stories by Donald Bartholomew. I don't know if I'm saying that right either, but what I like about, I'm so sorry. But what I do like about this too is it's also short stories. So I like to see how an author can execute a full idea quickly, like in about 4 or 5 pages, because that's really manageable for me when I'm creating my short stories in VR. And I like the satire, and I don't know if it's satire, but kind of a darker comedy and sassiness that this author has. So I enjoy that. And a bit of surreal too, and it's like kind of like, what world am I in? You know, I like it. I picked up Existential Physics, and I believe Sabine has a YouTube channel that I only have watched like a couple times, but it said Existential and Physics in the title, and that's really why I picked it up, because I like both of those things. But I'm still a little slow reading on that one because it's a little bit more dense, some of the topics, but it's not bad. And then I've been loving this book. There's a lot of tabs here. I'm going to have to do a video about this for sure, because it's Character Development and Storytelling for Games by Lee Sheldon. And there's a lot of good narrative design things being taught, concepts. So I do think that could help a lot of you that are interested in VR narrative like I am. This is also pretty dense, so there's a lot of things that I've marked that I want to talk about. So I just got to focus and just narrow it down to get it to be bite-sized so it's helpful for you. But I am still going through that to find what I want to talk about. I saved the future is something, fill in the asterisks. I saved it for last just because it's a comic book, so there's a lot of visuals there. It's not that you're just reading text, but I still think it counts. To me, it's still a book. What I liked about this is it really influenced where I'm at right now, because in my VR Story app, there is a part of the story, I would say a part of the space, because really the story app is the cabin is the hub for exploring other stories. However, of course, the cabin has to have a backstory, and it does have some of these sci-fi elements to it. And it was nice to read this because it was giving me even like further ideas and even how I might want to execute puzzles and different interactions into the space. What I love about the comic book is it got me excited about cybersecurity, because there are 8 different challenges and I solved them all in a really short time because I just really got into it. And also there's really cute animal avatar characters that help the humans to get what they need to get done to help everyone and protect them from, you know, a greedy person that's trying to control the world. What else is new? Right? No, it's good. So I really like that. There's a couple more that were sent to me. Woo! So shout out to Rekka Publishing. Rekka Publishing. I am just having a horrible time pronouncing things today. So please, please, please bear with me on that. I just want to show you that I am a human being and I'm not getting my ideas from AI slop and AI just spitting things out to me and me saying, oh, that's okay, I'll take that. No, I really like taking my time and looking around and learning things. And I think that's helpful for my experiences and to have something that's having a little bit more depth into what I create. Please let me know in the comments what art and literature that you are taking in that's influencing your work. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks, friends.